Welcome, hello. Did I say welcome? I said welcome. Welcome again. Thank you for being here. Welcome, Anita. Hello to you. Great that you're here. Thank you so much. And all of you that are here. You may want to say hello. Thank you for being here so much. And it's really great that we're back so soon. We want to give you another tool towards all that you're working on your rebirth this month in our 30 days of becoming challenge. I created this list of 30 ultimate self-care practices, really incorporating the science and the research for why each of these self-care practices is so valuable. So you're going to want to listen to that. The audio of this is live inside self-care, in the self-care section, which lives in self-love. So the link will help you find it. We're going to also, when I post the replay later today, I'll also have this information for you. I wanted to speak a little bit about the self-care that you need for your rebirth, and even those of you who maybe are contemplating this whole challenge this month still. I hope that after listening today, you will be that much more inspired to begin to do the challenge with us, and I'm going to explain it in a moment for those of you who are new listening, but also how today's live reflects the way in which it's going to help you in your commitment to living the changes that you have been working towards. So the challenge, many of you know, is a habit tracker primarily, and we have 2 additional PDFs that give you the description of how to use it, and also you are seeing it in our community live. We are posting what are called the reflective guidance prompts each day, and that is in a calendar on its own. So you get 3 different PDFs when you download the challenge this month. And again, I'll make sure that you have the link for that. Maybe Rochelle, you'd like to share that out, the link for the challenge PDF. Here's what's important. The habit tracker for tracking your we're doing sacred practices, and we're doing also mindset shifts, 2 different things. So the habit tracker gives you an opportunity to choose a new sacred practice. We have it set up that you can choose a new sacred practice that you are committed to doing for 10 days. And at the end of those 10 days, no matter whenever you start, you can start tomorrow, you can start today, maybe some of you have started on the 1st of the month. With that, you have the opportunity to choose a second beautiful sacred practice for the next 10 days of the month, and then for the final 10 days. And simultaneously, you would choose a new mindset shift for each of the 10 days of the month. First 10, second 10, final 10. The other way to do this with us is to dive in a little deeper and carry forward any of those changes that you're committed to for the whole 30 days of the challenge, whenever you start again. So I wanted to go through today. It's kind of I called it a mini workshop session in the description, because we really are workshopping together, and I'm going to rely a little bit on your input for this. So I hope that you'll shout out some of your answers. I wanted to carry through the notion of how important self-care is as a support for you as you go through the month, as you join in the challenge, whether it's for 10 days or all 30, in the practices of self-care that can best help you to live your change in the world. Because that is the premise of this challenge. I know personally, for many of you who are also my clients, thank you, we are doing a lot of amazing work, and it is time, and for those of you who are new to the app and new to Juno, in your own life, maybe you're not working directly with me, but in your own life, you are likely ready to live more of the changes that you've been working on. So the whole premise of this challenge at this auspicious time of year is for us to live in a very visible way what we have been working on internally, that journey of inner work, and often the work that looks invisible to the rest of the world, but we're doing a lot internally, right? And so today, in day 5 of the challenge, the reflective guidance question is around what self-care do you need to support you? Let's go through an example together, and then I want to, invite you to give me some of your answers and brainstorming as well. Let's say for one of the mindset shifts of the month, you are committed to, one client called it walking on the more positive side of life. What if you're committed to being more positive and neutral, that's good too, and positive in your life, okay? So I think all of us can practice this one, and some of you have committed to just living a more positive presence in your life. And so in your habit tracker, you would describe what that looks like, and then you have the opportunity to check off a box each and every day for the first 10 days of the challenge, the month, and or continue it for all 30 days. But let's talk about self-care. And I bring attention to this, and I really wanted to do the live on this because we are so good at deciding what it is we're going to commit to. But then sometimes we don't plan out all of what we need to support that. So if you want to practice, if you want to live more positively in your life, the self-care that you need to think about is, what's going to support me? What do I need from myself, from my environment, from others, to be able to live and be more positive? And so I'd love to hear from you in the chat. Please share out your answers. If that was one of your mindset shifts in the challenge this month, what specific self-care practices would support you? Now I'm thinking, I'll just share this, I'm thinking that one of the huge, most important things we need is awareness. And that can be used for so many of the changes that we are looking to bring forward in our life. Awareness when we are not being positive is the first big self-care practice. And I want to also, demystify what self-care is, because it's not just having a nap when you're tired, although that's extremely important, or practicing good sleep hygiene, another very important aspect of living healthy. Self-care is also self-awareness. It is being able to self-reflect. It's being able to reflect upon what just happened in your life and think about how you're going to do that differently in the future, or what you need to do to correct something that just happened, right? And so when you are self-aware, you're going to catch yourself in the moments that you are not being positive. And then the next part of self-care could be having what I call practice statements. It could be a mantra that's positive. It could be a few phrases that you will practice, like, that's pretty good, or yeah, I like that, or let me think about that. I mean, those are simple phrases, but if you have them ready in your mind, then in the moments when you might be inclined to say no, or we can't do that, or I can't possibly do that, the quest is to practice the new phrasing that then becomes a routine, it becomes ingrained, it becomes who you are. And the awareness of when you are not thinking or speaking positively gives way to what change you can make in the next moment. It's not going to be perfect, but even after you speak something, you can correct yourself in the very next moment. And that, in the brain, you're teaching yourself to think and be different. And then the next time you may go to say what that negative thought was, you can remember, oh yes, but I changed it last time. Let me just have a quick read of this beautiful conversation in the chat that I might be missing. So in terms of this example, Anita, you're saying find more humor every day. That's a great self-care practice, right? That primes you for living more positively, right? Being more positive. Very good. I love that. Thanks for joining us. Oh my goodness, Peggy, nice to have you here. Actively praying daily for the ability to be fully present in your interactions with others. Yes, so again, this is what I would call being proactive. So you're actively praying. You are, number one, you are creating the mindset that you want. That is, you are reminding yourself of how you want to be in your life, which is great. And in prayer, we have the opportunity to, also internalize our thoughts and our imagery. And, for your example, it can mean imagining some of the interactions you're expecting to have and visualizing how that's going to go when you're going to be, in your example, fully present. So these are part of self-care practices that I think we miss out on. We miss thinking about when we go to set these beautiful, important commitments to change, to rebirthing ourselves. And remember, you're always rebirthing yourself as you make change. The idea of this challenge is that you really, by the end of 30 days, you really feel solid in this new way of being. And that is really what you want. You want to feel the confidence that comes with living the practices. So let's do one more together. Let's talk about meditation, because that, for some of you, is one of your commitments in this 30-day challenge. Let's say you want to commit to a regular daily practice of meditation for how much time that is for you. And meditation could also include prayer as well. And so think about, and please, again, this is a workshop. I'm going to encourage your answers. Think about what are some specific self-care practices that help you be successful in your commitment to daily meditation. What would be that for you? May I? Awareness. Again, awareness is so big because awareness leads to intention, setting an intention for, awareness is the awareness of how you're going to unfold your meditation practice. Is it going to be in your schedule, in your calendar, in your phone? Is it going to be on an alarm that goes off at a certain time every day? I had a client once in a busy law firm who we worked on this together. She wanted to be able to practice meditation during her day as taking a few moments away from her work, etc. So we brainstormed this. It was lovely. It really worked actually quite well. She put a sign up on her door, closed the door. It was for 15 minutes or so. It was a note that just said to her staff and everyone that she wrote in meditation. And I love the honesty of that too, because it's real, right? And it's like, this is a really good self-care practice that she was not only implementing, but she was encouraging it in a way and sharing it with others that was inspiring. So she put the sign up, door closed, and she meditated. And it was this really official way for her to also, have that intentional ritual actualized. So that's self-care. That is the deliberate effort you make to make sure that what you want happens. So think about, and again, I'm inviting your input, if you wanted to do regular meditation or regular prayer each day, what would be some self-care practices that would set you up for this successfully? And, to me, the intention is important. Creating the physical environment, like we just described with my client, is important. The commitment is important. And also think about, and I also have, in my mind, the word patience, because patience to the practice of, sometimes we expect this new behavior that we are, casting out into the world to be so incredible that sometimes we can hold expectations that may not be realistic. So maybe part of your self-care in meditation regularly is to say, I'm going to show up for myself, I'm going to do this, and I'm also going to not hold expectation. I'm going to enjoy the practice, whatever that practice is that day, and to feel good about the fact that I've committed to it and I've completed it. What do you have to say, Miss Beautiful Anita? At least first thing in the... Okay, so that's your first thing in the morning and first thing at night. Yes, that is your intention, right? And now think about, what is the self-care practice, Anita, that would allow you to ensure that you practiced first thing in the morning and last thing at night? For people who are not, maybe you are someone that does this automatically, you've already woven it into your life, that's wonderful. But what if you're making the commitment to meditation in this month of rebirth, and what if you're not quite regular in your practice, right? Maybe you are hit and miss, and so this commitment to you this month has been about every day you want to commit to meditation. What would be the self-care you need? I like the idea of an alarm on your phone or your watch that reminds you. And then of course you have to listen to that, right? Like, your alarm can go off, and if you don't honor that, then you may be missing out on an opportunity to do the practices. So that's what I'm talking about. So I hope that this little mini workshop of ours gets you thinking about really what's going to set you up for success in this month of rebirthing, of becoming. And it's about the smaller, perhaps, but very important steps you take. For example, if I could just use your example, Rochelle, because I read it earlier in our community. You shared out this morning our reflective guidance, and you also in that post mentioned that you were aiming to do ideally 1 full day of no screen time as your commitment this month, and I think that's amazing. It's amazing for all of us to do. So I'm going to put it out to you, Rochelle, and everybody else. What would be a self-care practice that would help to shift? You talked about, first making it a half day, an afternoon off of your device, and then eventually a whole day. What self-care do you need for that? Do you need to set it up in your calendar? Do you need to ensure that you have other work done before or after? Like, these are the things that really help us to be successful, and that's why it's so important that we're talking about it today. What do you have to say, my love? Making space, claiming time, and maybe scheduling. That's what it means. Yeah, for sure. Making space. Rochelle, what does that mean, making space? Oh, making space in your life for the practice of no screen time. In other words, effectively carving it out, right? Making sure it happens. And I think too that self-care can also be this visualization that we do that sort of helps us to envision, what's that going to feel like? If I'm meditating every day, what's that going to feel like for me in my life, in the rest of my life? Visualizing myself, in Rochelle's case, visualizing herself, what she's going to be doing when she's not on her computer. It could be gardening, because we know you love gardening and you're so good at it. Maybe it's another creative pursuit that you have. Maybe it's a walk in nature. Maybe it's cycling. So it's about visualizing what the benefit's going to be and how it's going to feel because I've taken the steps to really live my promise. That's a really good word to think about. Words, living your promise. And that's what I hope that you are inspired to do this month as you take in what we're talking about today. And yes, remembering how good it feels when you have finished a meditation session, Anita, absolutely. So these are some ideas. I want to say that there is this grand list of 30, we call it the ultimate self-care list because it's huge. And each of these self-care practices have wonderful research and science-backed studies to reveal, to show, to prove how effective they are. You can listen to the audio. It is inside the self-love folder from your main screen. And inside self-love, there's a whole beautiful section on self-care. It's in there. At the time, I listened to it recently. I know it's 92 minutes, but it's so good. The ultimate self-care list, 30 ultimate self-care practices, the audio. If you have a chance, listen to that when you're doing some self-care practices maybe, and get some more beautiful ideas for how you can support yourself this month in our journey together in this beautiful challenge of rebirth and becoming. There you have it. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thanks to you, Rochelle and Anita and Peggy and all of you who are going to watch the replay, and just all of you who are there and just taking it in quietly. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. I will see you on the 15th. That's our next live together, and you'll see the schedule for that going up shortly. And thank you. That was fun. I really hope you think about what self-care can really look like for you, because it's so important. It's like all the pieces that support you, that allow you to be autonomous, independent, self-sufficient, and successful in this journey of rebirth. There you go. Thank you again. I will see you on the 15th, and of course inside the app as well all the time. Okay. Thanks again. Namaste. Thank you.